I never liked the Flowerboard. And you know what? I've never tried hiding it. It's probably why I always had a hard time making friends here. It's funny. Dad would say that that's just me making excuses for myself again. Come to think of it, maybe that's why I hate the thing. It makes me think about what happened with Dad and... Anyway, point is that I never liked the Flowerboard. It was hard at first to find anything related to a girl called Jamie. All I had was one name on a memorial that had at least 50 added to it daily for years. So I sat there for hours rummaging through letter after letter and poster after poster. You would not believe how many paper cuts I got. At one point, an older woman, easily in her mid-60s, stopped me.
What are you doing?
She asked with a clear, disapproving sneer in her tone. I paused. How do you respond to that? Oh, I'm just looking for a clue that'll hopefully lead to answers regarding the potentially supernatural disappearance of one of my coworkers. Yeah, sure, bright idea. So instead, I said, I'm trying to find something about my sister, Jamie. I didn't like lying, but it was better than the alternative. The old woman just said softly,
Love, if you think you're gonna find something about your sister on that wall, she's long gone.
The edge to her tone fell away and was replaced with what I can only describe as loss.
Listen to me, girl. Forget about your sister and leave Duskbowl before it swallows you up. That's what this town does.
The old woman walked away. You know, if I'm going to be approached by an elderly woman whilst on the run, I'd hope that she'd at least be some magic, wise woman talking about destiny and crap. Instead, she just left me feeling sorry for her. I went back to searching. It was another hour before I found what I was looking for. It was a clipping from the Weekly Ivory. It read, Jamie McIntyre, beloved daughter of Clarice McIntyre. Forever in our hearts. So I had a clue. Clearly Jamie was dead and gone, but her mother, Clarice, well, jury's still out on her. So I reasoned that my next step should be to find her. It wasn't hard. All it took was a quick check in the Duskbowl phone book. I tried ringing her house a few times from a payphone, but nothing. Had the line been disconnected? In the end, I decided to visit her myself. When I got there, her house was surrounded by those big, semi-permanent metal fences you often see around work sites. Was she having renovations? Well, the sign saying, Restricted area, authorized persons only, prohibited by Duskbowl's Sheriff's Department. Alright, so there goes the reno job theory, I muttered to myself. I really didn't want to have to break into yet another place in the span of 48 hours, but it really didn't seem like I had much of a choice. I checked over my shoulder to see if there were no passerbys or oncoming traffic, and climbed the fence, cleared it without a hitch. Even better was that one of the house's doors had been left unlocked. Teenagers? Laziness on the part of Duskbowl's finest? Oh well, I needed in, and I found a way that didn't require me to break any more windows, so I saw it as an overall win. The house wasn't anything special. It had clearly been left alone for a while. The walls had a thin coat of dust and grime, and the house was pitch black because, of course, it had about as much natural light as a friggin' vampire's den. The kitchen was as you'd expect, same for the lounge room. The only thing out of the ordinary was that nothing had been looted, which was doubly weird considering how long it had been abandoned for. That was until I made it to what I can only assume was Jamie's room. The room was empty. It looked like it had been gutted. Oh, you've got to be kidding me! Nothing? I complained, to no one. I wasn't going to take that. I couldn't. I'd spent most of the goddamn day trying to find this place, and now I get here and there's nothing? I had to give it at least a once-over. Man, I could have really made a fine detective, I whispered to myself. I was about to give up, when hidden away in a small mouse hole, I found a small, scrunched-up ball of paper. I plucked it up and unwrapped it. It was a drawing, made with a black pen of some kind. The picture was of a featureless man, covered in crudely drawn eyes. I had to admit, a shiver went up my spine. This made the creature I saw real. Somebody else had seen it. Jamie had seen it, but where was she? What happened to her? Jamie, I said again, staring at the drawing. Flipping it over, the drawing was on the back of a printout of a very old newspaper clipping. It was the start of a story about Duskbowl's favorite boogeyman, the Lady of the Lake. But it was very low quality. There was a word circled, though. It was hard to make out, but I think it said, "Companist." There was only one more addition made with Jamie's black pen. Scrawled along the bottom were just 2 words. The composer.
G'day guys, it's me, Harry, and I just wanted to say thank you for listening to this episode. Duskbowl is, well, it's my passion project, and it just means so much to me that you support it. And if you'd like to support Duskbowl more, feel free to like, subscribe, and support us on Patreon. Anything at all that you could give would mean the absolute world. Your support really does mean everything to me. And I just want to apologise if you can hear trains and cars in the background. I've recently moved, so the whole setup is different. For a lot of you, this is going to be the first time you've actually heard Duskbowl, because obviously you didn't have the biggest following in the start. There are the tapes that if people new coming in want to listen to, feel free. They will give you a lot of context, I feel. I want to thank Romnex so much. I feel like a lot of you will be coming from her channel. Without her, I don't think Duskbowl would be getting the traction that it's getting at the moment. It really does mean a lot that she helped me out, and she is amazing. Please, if you aren't a subscriber of hers, please go to subscribe to her. She's absolutely fantastic. She does amazing horror narrations, and it is a crime she doesn't have a larger following than she does. If you want more Duskbowl, we're going to be uploading fortnightly, and on top of that, on our Instagram page, we actually have like a BARG found footage type story that's going on that you can go and enjoy, which I'm sure you'll get quite a lot out of. So that's on our Instagram page, which will be linked in the description. I'd also like to start having Duskbowl artwork competitions. So if you guys have any fan art that you have of Duskbowl, send it through to the Duskbowl email address, and then the winner of that competition for that week or fortnight will then have their artwork platformed both on our YouTube channel and on our Instagram page. Ash was voiced by the amazing Caroline Fester, and the always absolutely fantastic music that Duskbowl just wouldn't have an identity without is by Samuel Burke, a longtime friend of mine, and please go follow some of his music. I'll be linking some of his bands down in the description. And lastly, if you want to have an Australian accent in any of your projects, I'm a voice actor myself, so if you want to have me on board, feel free to hit me up on my Fiverr, which I'll also be linking in the description.